just so you know, we're having this so that you understand that you are part of the GMTSS. It's a reboot. It's starting over. It's how we built the company. Whether the million-dollar earners remember or not, this is how they got where they are. And we did it together. And they had no pin levels at that time. And we traveled all around the country together, helping each other establish our groups, and then we cross-pollinated. We had groups in all the different areas. That would have been impossible otherwise. They couldn't have left to build other groups from their home group without it falling apart. But we pulled it off, and we sold tickets and built from event to event. That is how we did it and why you are here today. Yeah. So you may think, oh, well, you know, this is about the UBP coordinators and the speakers and the locals. No. If you sell 10 tickets or 20 tickets to a local, that local's 20% yours. Do you understand that? So, you know, it's about each and every one of you sitting in a seat today. This is the steering wheel of your business. All that stuff I taught you, or we taught you, if you got anything out of it, it's about increasing the quality of your time that you put in and then multiplying your duplication. Did you get that? This is one of the primary ways you do that. And without it, you can never be an executive director. I don't know anybody that didn't utilize it that reached a higher pin level. So everything that we taught is multiplied. And now, understand this. It's the reality of the business. You don't punch a clock. We don't go into work. Everybody's invisible. Everybody goes out and does their own thing and has their own problems. And, you know, but the reality of the business, because it's invisible, is when we come together. That's it. That's work. That's the business. Everybody understand that? So, they got to hear it 7 times, 7 different ways from 7 different people, because their ears grow calluses to what you say. And somebody else will say the same thing you're saying. They say, why didn't you ever tell me that? I've been telling it to you for 3 months. I don't care who got them to hear it, as long as they get it. Does that make sense? So it allows you to secure your business at home and to do it in 4 or 5 other places at once, and maybe have 4 or 5 branches growing in your hometown rather than just one at a time. Do you get that? So it's about you. It's not about the UBP host. It's not about the local coordinator. It's not about the regional. It's about you and your team and your business. Like I said, if you have 100 people at the local and 20 of them are yours, hoorah, it's 20% yours. You see, and the UBPs, the closer the UBP is to a person's house, the more growth you're going to get. So if you have, hey, thank you. I'm hogging, you know, the time.
No, I like it.
But at any rate, now tell me, what is it more likely for a person who just saw the plan to go get validation by seeing somebody more successful? If it's 10 minutes away or 45 minutes away? See, they haven't really totally bought in. They haven't drunk the Kool-Aid or whatever you want to call it. They ain't wearing the jersey yet.
Not yet.
And so when Wednesday night comes and it's an hour away or 45 minutes away, they struggle with whether they're going to go or not. You should, you know, 100% of the people that you bring show up. But even you don't know if you want to drive 45 minutes. But somebody's trying to have giant meetings to make money. Rule number 1, it's about building the business to make money in the MPCP. That's why we do it. So instead of having, you know.
They'll be hiding under the bed, like you said.
Exactly. And then I drive around again and knock on the door and they're there.
Right.
But instead of having one UBP with 100 people, isn't it better to have 5 UBPs with 20 to 30, and then it grow to 10, you see? And so the business, if you understood what we taught yesterday, how it happens, how you have control over it, by filling the bean jar and then the ABC pattern, okay? You're doing one-on-ones, two-on-ones, HBPs, ABC pattern, and everyone starts showing it. You saw that, right? But they don't show it with as much conviction, convincing, persuasion, credibility, maybe as you do. So you have a lot of people showing it, but it's not quite as powerful, and they need some more power. So they bring them to the UBP with people making money, and they get to see it again. Duplication's perfected, but you have everybody out showing the plan, and they bring them back. I used to call it a second look. Now we call it a UBP. So you bring them to the UBP, and all of a sudden in your hometown, you have one on the west side, one on the east side, one on the north side, maybe one in the middle. So you have 3 or 4 UBPs going on. It's time to have a local. But when you started there was nothing. So this is about you building it up, not the upline, you see? And, Yardley made us change all our terminology, and sometimes I still struggle with it. So it's not upline, downline, it's upstream, downstream, senior partner, junior partner. But, so when we have the local, it's not about 1,000 people at the local, because to get 1,000 people at the local, people are driving an hour or 2. You want to have the local, maybe 100 to 200 people. And then when you get you have 4 locals of 200 people, you pull it together for a district. That's the big show. And then, and for you speakers, we got a great honorarium system. You don't need to make a huge overage, because you're going to have more locals to speak at, more districts to speak out. And so then that feeds into the regional of 1,000 to 5,000. I mean, whatever the Texas region is and all that, that thing can be 3,000, 5,000 people. You got to pull it together. California, I mean, you have more people in California than any other state, UFOs. We got a heat map. A heat map shows where all the action is, where people are getting in, sales, and numbers of executive coordinators. The thing is, covers the map. So when you look at different areas, you can tell, hey, why isn't there a local here? Why isn't there a local here? And we're going to do that this afternoon with the people that are already involved as locals. We're going to reboot the system, replan it out, set goals. But just because you're not there doesn't mean that you're not part of it. You're going to be there. You're going to be a speaker. You're going to be a coordinator. You get that? Okay. I'm done.
I have a mic. Thank you, honey. Hello. Hi, everybody. How many of you, I would like if you've ever done any participation with the GMTSS, formerly the NMTSS, whether you worked a table, registration, help with people getting chairs set up, part of the physical, the administrative team, can you stand up for me? Let's give yourselves a big round of applause, because you're the best volunteer army in the world. Best volunteer army in the world. Can you imagine? Look around and see all of these people, Kevin, who commit and donate their time to help you guys all grow your business, because it's the person next to you may not be in the town within you, but they're doing everything that they can so your group can have, and you can send prospects and send your people to a meeting that they can participate in, and that is so important, because it's not any one person that makes this company, it's all of us.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes, it's all of us. And that's true. Teamwork makes the dream work, baby. Look handsome today, sweetie. And do you notice how I matched you today?
Yeah,
Yeezys, the jeans, look very cute. Anyway, I know, I think we're going to go home and just get in bed and cuddle up. Cuddle up. I said cuddle up, folks. We too tired. We too tired. Now, too tired for all that nonsense today. Now, look at Stop looking at me. Anyway, sicko. He's a sicko. Anyway, I told you there's not a normal person in my family. Not one single normal person. Anyway, one of the other things I want to just talk about is how many of you live in an area where there are no meetings going on at all within an hour and a half? Could you stand up for me? Stay standing. Okay. I'm looking at all of you and I'm memorizing your faces because we're expecting you to take charge and start leading a new area. Because it's very important. What about you guys? I see you guys over there, over there. Anybody over there? Look at you guys over there, back there. So, okay, sit down and make sure that you submit your names to us at, do we have a website? I will give you my email otherwise. Do we have a website that we can, not a website, an email that we can send? It's a Tell Us, right? Yeah, Tell Us at Market America. And if you submit your name to us in an area that you don't have anybody doing meetings there, one of the things I always say is, oh, well, somebody writes to us and says, we don't have anybody who's doing meetings within the area. Babe, I'm trying to release my hand. Okay. And so if you would just submit your name, because the way to start a meeting in that area is for you to hold it for us. And we talked about it yesterday. You don't have to be afraid because you should be practicing showing the plan at home with people that you love, friends that love you, and people who will support you and build you up. And nobody, guess what, will know if you did anything wrong, even if you did show the plan wrong, because they don't know what you're saying anyway.
So, and in New York City, there is over 100 Starbucks. In New York City, I don't know the number, but there's 50 to 100 churches. Why? Because people don't want to go outside their neighborhood, and they want convenience. So it's the same thing with new people in the business. So you want to have these wherever there's enough people to support it. You can't open another Starbucks if there's not going to be enough people to go to it or traffic to support it, right? But as soon as there is, you want to have another one. And, if there was only one McDonald's in Philadelphia and one McDonald's in Pittsburgh, it wouldn't be very effective, and they're losing a lot of business because what about everywhere else?
Exactly.
You get it?
You need to have a place that you can bring people to. And so one of the things that you'll learn about today is how you can be involved, why we want you involved, because if you've been a pioneer for a long time, you know the way the former NMTSS used to work, and now the new GMTSS works exactly the same way. It goes back to you being in charge of making sure that you have the very best meetings in your area and that we hold a certain standard to what those meetings should be. And they're in the very best possible location so you don't have to hold it in a dive where people are saying, oh, wow, I'm afraid to take somebody there. You don't want to give people that impression about our organization or you or your business, which is all a reflection of all of us. You want to bring them to the very best location, and so now we're going to make sure that you guys have the money to do that. There'll be money in the program. You guys will be able to build it and really make it your own and really have something to be proud of. So we're really excited about the transition, and the whole corporate team, all of us got together, Steve, and if you worked with Steve before in the past, you'll understand the program. You'll be very familiar. It'll be very familiar to you. Jim has done a phenomenal job and will continue to do so leading the NMTSS, but you'll be the one accountable and responsible. You'll be the one who'll be able to make the decisions that are best for your local area to make sure that you're holding the very best UBPs, the very best local seminars, and we're bringing district meetings back. So you'll be able to have a district to bring people to. And that's important because you want to have something in between a local and a regional to have somebody to go something to.
So here's the bottom line. We practice what we preach. We duplicate. Steve has run the NMTSS.
Kevin.
Kevin has run the NMTSS.
I ran it.
Loren ran the NMTSS, okay? And these people know the system. They know the problems. They know the people politics. They know what it's about. They're experienced. They're experts at it. The system evolved to become the IRS because it was working so well and there was so much money in it, some UFOs got a little abusive and didn't practice rule number 1, which is it's all about making money in the marketing plan. That's okay. It's entrepreneurial spirit. You know, we get carried away. But the bottom line is it's going back to the way it was, like my tax system last night. Entrepreneurial. Yeah, you get a tax credit for every 2 people you lift up by the amount you lift them up. Yeah. And that's really how the system's supposed to work. But the point is the money's staying with you. And there's certain parameters. So let's go make it happen.